Dark side 25433. Lurk.
What's up?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm about to be doing a study thing. Posted
I'm
in
already
general.
in it.
Yeah. Posted in general. I'm trying to let everybody know, like, don't join the VC. I'm only here just to show that I'm live. I'm going to be trying to have people chat while I do this. Because it's kind of a learning thing. I have less than a month and a half to end, or else I lose my boot camp.
Okay.
Almost done. Almost there. I'll be playing games later, though.
Dark side 25433. What games you want to play later? Mikey 7250. Lurk.
Games to play later. Probably be. Depends on if Blaze wants to play more Lethal Company as well. Application level middleware. One second, guys. All right, so there's going to be brief interruptions as we go through this. I'm sorry, I usually don't stream during the day because of the kids. They get loud, they get cranky, they do something that one doesn't like, they start screaming, they start yelling, and obviously I don't want to blow your guys' eardrums out just as much as I don't want my eardrums blown out. So I'll mute up every once in a while, just trying to get after them, trying to get them to calm down. And do the right things. I may have to take steps steps away to go to the bathroom, deal with any of their needs, whatever. So, just like I was explaining earlier, Darkside was here in the VC. So I am trying to have everybody here in the chat kind of just participating. You guys can help me get along with this as well if you feel free to pay attention. I could use as much help as possible. You do not need to know the language in order to understand what we are doing, because it's really going to explain everything to you along the way. And these are things that you can kind of take into consideration for your own. We're starting at the very beginning of backend. Yeah, so you could at least learn backend, and then if you like it, you can go and learn front end as well. So backend, you're kind of just you're kind of helping the front end figure out what information it can access. So we're doing Express, we're doing SQL, and CRUD. So just bear with me. In a teaching setting, I'm not very much the most comfortable best either. But I figured if I'm going to read it, I might as well try and read it with a few people. And then maybe we can get some people that know what's going on and what they're doing and come chat as well. Or maybe other students. Can anybody let me know what is my title on Twitch? No. Probably all. And look at lovely. Boom, boom. Boom. All right. So application level middleware is where we're starting. We're not going to start with project configuration. Kind of go past that a little bit because I know a little bit of how to do it, and obviously we're going to go backwards to kind of try and help. Pulling up information as message. Sam's probably. He's a hard worker. But just like I said, so we're going to be starting in the middleware. We'll go back to the project configuration if we need it. Probably will needing it depending on how far into the so in this lesson, you'll learn about an Express concept called application level middleware. This concept will allow you to potentially configure every request coming in or going out to your server. And then here's some key terms too. middleware. It's a function that an express server runs between receiving a request and responding to that request. So starter code, you can end up downloading some starter code as needed. Why don't we do it here? Got that forked? I'm gonna capture. Stretched. Somewhere for the code. No? Maybe we can like move it down. They are donation. Right? That way we can at least still have a little bit of the chat. Sure. So we grabbed our project configuration. So it's just kind of just a little bit of something to start with. So what is middleware? We're not going to watch the videos. We're going to skip past the videos because the videos literally explain the same thing. So the video below provides a brief introduction. Start by watching the video, blah, blah, blah. So middleware is a very general term that can have different meanings based on context. You will be learning about middleware specifically as it pertains to the buildings. Mentioned in this program, the term middleware refers to a function the express server runs between receiving a request and responding to that request. Remember that the job to the server is to receive requests and respond to them. Middleware gets between the request response cycle, helps manage the requests, and can help determine how the server will respond. Express puts multiple pieces of middleware together, creating a middleware pipeline. A pipeline is simply a series of functions. For example, imagine that a user is logging into a banking web. The request pipeline might look something like the following diagram. So we're requesting for checking account details, and then this is where the middleware pipeline comes. It's going to log the request, and it's going to ask, is the user logged in? Yes or no? If it's a no, it's going to respond with an error. If it's a yes, then it's going to respond checking account details. So request, response. Middleware sets it up. Request, respond. The request, what is the details? Respond. Statements. What's happening? So now I'll break down each of these steps. A request is made to the server for checking account details. Request enters the first piece of middleware. All right. Just like I said, unfortunately, every once in a while, I kind of have to mute up my microphone. Deal
Taylor
with
of
what's going on.
Valor. Lurk.
Hey, Haylor, what's going on, my guy? And a lot of you guys are really good at this lurking thing, but I don't get enough of you guys that come in and use the chat for when we're doing stuff. All right, so now we're going to break down those steps that we discussed up here. The request is made to the server for checking account details. Request enters the first piece of middleware. Logging at this step, nothing more happens than a simple log statement. So it is just logging this request. And then you're going to check for user credentials right here. Is the user logged in? Yes and no. User's logged in, you respond with the requested information. If they aren't, you respond with an error. Only respond one time. It's only going to be one or the other. It's not going to be both. Steps 2 and 3 above act as middleware. They act on the request, in this example, logging, and help determine its outcome. This example, checking for credentials. HTTP request, get, then the path. So we have middleware. Get it? Good. Request through the middleware. If it's a yes, keep going. If it's a yes, keep going. If it's a yes, you can respond with the main task. If it requests and it's a no, we're responding with whatever error. Same goes here. If it's a yes here and it's a no here, respond with an error. Yes here, a yes here, and a no here. Yes all the way. Return with the main task. Get it? Got it? Good. In Express, middleware is represented through functions. The function will always have a similar signature. Const middleware equals request on next back function. Whatever it is that we tell it. The middleware functions are callback functions. It is unlikely that you'll ever call a middleware function directly. Express calls the right argument. Almost every middleware function will have no more parameters about that. The single exception later on. Oh, it's error. Take a look at each parameter. The request parameter stands for request. Methods related to the request will be an object. The response parameter stands for response. The object has methods back a response from it. And then the next parameter, when called, will tell Express that this middleware function is complete. Middleware. Responsive middleware. Take the following middleware function. Const say hello, request, respond, and next. A callback. That literally all its job here is just to respond by sending hello. That's all it's doing. Not doing anything else. Not doing anything super complicated. It's not checking anything. It's just responding with hello. It gets a request. So get whatever. That is its request. And then its only thing that has to do respond by hello. Middleware function. Middleware uses the send method that comes on the response object.
Darkside 25433.
Darkside.
Yutski sweat.
He's getting scared. Comes on the response object calling send. In this way, we'll send back the string to the client. Middleware function responds. That is, it will send the response back to the client that made a request to it. At that point, your server's job is done. That's it. Over. Do this. Copy the middleware. Copy the above function. Other words, say hello. Function into your app.js file. No. Include them above where you export the Express application, because I even told you earlier, you're not getting phones. You have a tablet. Put it on the charger, and you were told. Again, another one of those moments there. I'm sorry. So take a look at another middleware function. Did we? Yeah, copy the above function. In other words, say hello function. App.js file. Include them above where you press up. Alright, so this is where we get to go look at our code. So we don't got to worry about the server because the server was already set up for us back in project configuration. So now we're here in the app.js. So it says copy the above function, your app.js, include above where your export. So export doesn't even have an export. It will slide. So const, say hello, request respond next, callback, respond.send. Alright. App.js, include them above where you take a look at another middleware function. Const logging equals request respond next, callback for console log. So here, it's getting a get request. It is responding with, so it responds by console log. A request is being made. So this isn't even anything that's going to display on the page. This is going to display in the terminal. So it's going to console log in the terminal. A request is being made. And then here is the next. So this is just telling it to go to the next piece. This middleware doesn't respond. That is, it doesn't send a response back to the client. Instead, all it does is print to the console on to the next piece. So do this, copy the middleware, copy the above logging function in your app.js. All right, creating application level middleware. Right now, your middleware functions exist, but they are not being used. How do you use them in your application? Attached to your Express application is a method called use. This method will allow you to attach middleware to the pipeline. You can use your middleware functions following app.use logging, the name of that function. App.use, say hello. Guess what? That's the function. What we're going to do, we're going to copy these back to it. Right before our app list, app use logging, app use. Oh, now if I empty start, app Oop, start. In the server. Moving back already, boys. Moving back already. Shut up a bit. After it'll hold error the app dot app dot. Why I'm a not a T. Smart fellow. All right. Well, I guess we could. All right. App dot listen. App is not an figure encountering error typically occurs when app is sure if you think app is created using press. So there are no circles. App chat. Verify app. There we go. Follow us. Export. So application is running. Server is running on port 5000. So also hello here up in the top left. Console. There's hello. For logging. Yeah, so a request is being did it twice. So know how it's working now. Console log statement. Switch the order. When you refresh the browser page, you will still see hello, but check your terminal. Log statement, no. Fire, why not? Server. At this point, you've created a working server. Your server now receives requests and responds to them. Now is a good time to reflect on what you've done so far. Write some comments in your code that describe what you have written, including terms like request middleware. There's also the Morgan package. Now built your own middleware and are using it to respond to requests. Next, install a common package that you use in middleware, and it will replace your logging function. The Morgan package is a small logging package that's useful request. So we can run Morgan by typing this into a terminal. Again, now that we have Morgan, now const Morgan fire capital M. RG. Then delete your logging function where it gets log following at you Morgan. Alright, so exported from the Morgan package is a function that can be called with a defined strings. The return value of the function is middleware, configured by the dev string. Now go to the localhost, you will still see the phrase hello. Start. Logging. Fine. Right. I forgot to go down here to app.u. Bad. Alright. Alright, server is running on port 5000. Refresh. Still says hello. What is our consoles? Hit 304. Pass. Speed. That it went. So got something like this here. So this line is provided by Morgan. Morgan will log incoming requests as you continue to build servers. So logging in. So like you don't want the MS to be high, right? You don't want to be playing League of Legends 140 ping every. Is that correct? So. Those quizzes aren't really. I've already put in all quiz information. Some of them probably didn't pass, and we're gonna be really just working with.
How the M asterisk CK big is your screen?
How the pretty big. Not really. What is normal size? Hi. Welcome to the stream, Rahul. Sorry if I... Screen's average.
Rahul. What are you building? Name it.
Not building anything currently. We're doing, I'm still a student in my boot camp, and we're just kind of going through and trying to learn together. I learn better by reading, like reading out loud, not in my head. There's much stuff that goes on in the head. So pretty much just going through it, trying to learn it all, get it done. I'm doing backend currently for Express SQL, and then probably in about 20-30 minutes or so. Fred. So yeah, we just started from the beginning of the backend development section. So where we're at right now. Currently not building anything. We got quizzes and stuff that'll pop up
Rahul.
at the end.
Cool, it speaks out every time. That's cool. Just was OpenAI Whisper AI to make it sound natural.
AI Whisper. Natural. It's just something that I've had for a while. Because when I play like League, stuff like that, sometimes the chat window will hide behind League. And I'm always very attentive to chat and trying to respond. So I've had over the years, this is kind of just, it's just natural. I do want to change it at some point. Make it a little bit nicer. I only have 2. All right, so building routes. So far, you've been sending requests to your server.
Rahul.
URL.
So how old are you?
I am 28. Never too old to learn.
Hancock 66. What do you use to learn? I need to learn C but don't know from where to start.
Hancock, I'm currently in a boot camp. I've learned, so far we've learned HTML, HTML, CSS, React. Currently learning Express. I learn a lot by watching videos, but I've always considered myself a fast learner, and I got into this camp, but I think it's just because of how much information is thrown at me. It's a lot harder to maintain that information. But I actually learned a lot of my stuff from YouTube. I'm definitely not a professional by any means, not yet. So I am still very much a student and still very much claim. But I always like to learn with people. So if you ever want to learn it,
I appreciate that, dude. What do you do other than this?
But if you ever want to learn, I have a Discord. They're not full of software engineers. I usually play games at night. We are a non-toxic community, so we stand by each other very strongly. We do have a few coders in, but one of them is college, and one of them is in myself. But still getting around it. There is Dragon as well. Super smart dude. You can always feel free to join the server, and if I get down to learning together in project, appreciate it, dude. What do you do other than this? Well, I was recently silently fired from my job. I've done a lot of different jobs, mostly customer service, hard labor, factory, undelivered driving. There's so many things done. But other than this, as of right now, and applying for more work, is just this boot camp. I do make Vroid models, and I stream at night. We play League of Legends, and play currently Lethal Company, which play with more company mod, which allows us to have up to 32 players at one time, which is super awesome. And sorry guys, on YouTube, there's not a whole lot of content over there yet. I promise at least once a week, I'm going to try and give you guys shorter clips of stuff. You guys have whole VODs, and this is my first day doing this too, by the way. I just started doing live streaming for this kind of like learning session, because this helps me learn. So it's just nice getting to meet some people that are also maybe in the same boat or experienced already, and maybe they want to kind of twist their mind a little bit. Because I know people that have been doing coding for a while, and sometimes I throw some of the stuff at them that I have that I need to complete, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And they're like, we don't even. So it's, you know, it's nice. But what do you all do? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys like? You guys have a hobby? Do you have a genre of work? Obviously. Very. Do you have like a favorite
Rahul,
thing? Right?
you are calm. Man, you sounds like a very nice person. What's your name?
My name is Yutski. As far as streaming goes, I don't really mind people knowing me on. My name is Brandon on a name, but I try and keep it as Yutski. I've been streaming for quite a few years. Unfortunately, we missed our big shot back in the day. We were doing pretty all right for ourselves, and we made affiliate pretty quickly on Twitch. But my laptop, and that was back when I was 18. Now on 28 now. Going on 29. Literally next month. Definitely try my best. I do have a temper. I'm sure everybody does. So I definitely do try my best, but I want to be the best version of. But very nice to meet you, Rahul. And I know that there's also Hancock. I'll drop my Discord. You guys ever want to? Currently, I have my VC off limits just because I'm trying to have some people come in the chat and come chat with me while we learn. Which is kind of abnormal for me to do. Usually, I'm like, come join the VC. Alright, so, but in the real world, users can visit different URLs to get different kinds of information. You guys can still feel free to type. I'll keep bouncing back and forth. For example, the Thinkful website responds with different information when you go to thinkful.com/about, as thinkful.com/blog, and learn how to create routes on your server so that it can respond to client requests with varied information. So, key terms is route. So that's a new word that we have here, right? It's also called a path, the part of the URL that comes after the domain name. So here we have another starter code. I'm just going to kind of skip the starter codes now that I think about it, because when you're doing the back end, the starter code doesn't. So we're going to skip the videos.
I am a developer, computer science graduated and been into tech field for like 4 years. Love coding.
I love the concept of coding. I love the thought of me actually learning it and doing it. I find myself very frustrated a lot of it, but I've gotten with a bunch of people that are in the same situation with me, with the same boot camp, with the same views, that they just don't really do a good job teaching us what we need to know. But I always get very excited when things go right. I also run into an issue, like I did create my own little React app. It's a little silly one, and definitely not original at all. But because somebody else did one too. But I created a React app with a randomizer for League, for just literally random, no logic whatsoever, just random mythic, random champ, and random items to take with in like these weird funny videos.
Also, can you put V's code in the big side of the screen? Rahul. It's hard to see.
Yes, we haven't quite gotten there, but let's see what we can do.
Hancock 66. I'm a comp science student in Brazil, but I need to improve a lot my skills, feeling like I'm a lot worse than my friends.
Oh, I feel that. I definitely am in the same boat. Obviously not computer. You guys definitely have it a lot worse than I do. And that's not a bad thing by any means. Please don't think on contact. I do apologize. I didn't quite get an overlay stuff like I can't. Bear with me. So yeah, I mean, if you ever need any type of words of encouragement, I am definitely down. I'm usually a very upbeat type of person. Usually very
Rahul.
Hopefully that helps.
It's okay. It's completely normal to feel that day.
Yes, very much so. All right. So fun fact about me. So I have always been in tech, like tech support, like building computers. But I always have this thing that's in my brain, like I want to learn why. I want to learn like, why does this work? Why does it do this? How does it work? Stuff like that. So that's what sparked my interest on coming into the software. And I probably should. I feel like I probably would have been much more of a stressful, gun-ho. But the thing is, when I first started, I had no experience. I had no coding experience. Know what I was getting. Right? So the first mock interview that you take is literally just basic essential on like how to create a function, pretty much how to create a function in a for loop in JavaScript. And I failed my first one. You get 3 attempts, supposedly. I have friends that have passed 3, and they get like a 4th and a 5th try. But I failed my first attempt, and I beat myself up bad. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I wasted all of this money, like, do it now, like, what am I going to do? Well, I ended up just pushing harder. I pushed harder to get through it, try and learn it. That's why I'm also starting here with the live streaming. I usually don't do a very chattable person, but I usually don't do just chatting. It just does not work out for me. Like, for instance, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm definitely not saying bad whatsoever. But both you, Rahul, and Hancock are both on YouTube, right? So, like, I don't get anybody on Twitch for just chatting because it's so over. And I imagine probably the only reason why you guys are finding me right now is just because you guys are coding type people. You guys get recommended me. Nobody gets recommended me. So it's like one of those weird situations. It's like, okay, well, if I can get enough people that are behind me, and like, if I read something, I have a question, I can ask them, and then if they have a question, they can ask me. I have my own little study group on Discord too. Like, we study together. I'm dumber than a box of rocks, but we get it done. We like to learn. We like what we're doing. Like the direction that. But you're just hitting a wall, and you have to climb that wall, and you're gonna climb that wall. But it's not gonna. That wall's not gonna break for you. It's not gonna get smaller for you either. You have to do the work. You have to do the effort to get through it. But it's definitely not just you. Everybody goes. Every single person. And I think if you say that you didn't hit a wall, you're a liar. But I say the harder the wall is to climb, the more worth it is and to climb it. So climb it. So I'm a father, 5 kids. You'll hear them every. 5 kids total, Hope and Netta, since you want to be, Miss Listener over here. I have 5. I have you 4, and I have Logan. You know who Logan is. Logan is your older brother. No, Logan. There's one more.
Hancock 66.
Blew her mind.
5.
Yeah, 5. And I'm still doing a boot camp. I'm still getting through it. Like, my process of learning is definitely a lot slower. You know, I gotta stop every while.
Rahul.
You know, help with that.
That is sweet. I can sense you are a good father.
I beat myself up quite a bit. I have emotional attachment issues. I won't even lie. Random people. I have emotional issues. I don't really show a whole lot of emotion. I don't really get connected very easily. But I try. I try my best. I'm more of the strict one. I'm the mean one. Mom's the nice one. But I do try my best. Look on Logan. What? No, does not live with it.
Hancock 66. BRB need to do some stuff in the house or my GF will kill me when she's back.
I understand that one, Hancock. I understand that one completely. But I'll be here. Oh, sorry, we kind of started doom scrolling here on routes and now. We were definitely after the. I think we just got past the video. I'm not gonna play the videos just. But yeah, I posted that Discord, guys. So, oh, you both joined. Hello. Oh, you guys are awesome. You guys hopped right onto it. My Discord is still pretty old-fashioned too, and I'll let you guys know it's dead in there till nighttime. So feel free to like constantly, you know, say hi, reach out. Plenty of gamers. If any of you guys are gamers too, that's mostly what we do. We're a comedy gaming group. You know, we're definitely no Vanoss or can't think of it more, to be honest. Off the top of my but we try our best. We try our best, and we're definitely unscripted. Everything that comes out of our mouths are 98 our own weird. Sometimes things get a little quiet, and sometimes things are just wild. Amazing. We're all family here. All can talk to one on and how we feel. You know, that's one of the best parts about talk to all a team. I'm gonna leave this world one day, leaving a print somewhere in somebody's life. All right, so in the case of thankful.com/blog, the root is /blog, right? So go into that root as opposed to about yields different information. Route can have multiple parts, like following example. Thankful.com route for bootcamp. And here's the route for web development. As you can see, this route has multiple parts. Bootcamp, web development, flexible. Flexible. That one is. The order of each of these parts matter in getting to the route. In general, paths are arbitrary, but as you will see later on, there are some conventions to follow. For now, just know there could be multiple parts to a route. Or a route. Up until now, you have used the app.use build middleware requests. Press also has other methods. Monster AT. So delete. So we can do app.delete. Get verb method app.get. We can use a post method app.post. And we can do a put app.put. These functions work similar to app.use. For example, the following a root address that will respond with text OK URL. So localhost port 5000. The root or route is app.get ping. So we're always going to have these two. Have route, and we're going to have the argument or callback. So our arrow function into a callback on.send. Okay. Requesting get from app at the route of ping. And if it gets that request, it's on with OK. As you can see, this looks very similar to the middleware that you built earlier. And from the explanation from Rahul, he probably already knows all of this by now. He or she, right? Gender. As you can see, this looks very similar to the middleware that you built earlier, except you now have a string as the first argument passed into the app-get method, builds a root or route at ping. Routes are middleware except they will only respond when the request URL matches the route. Do this, create a route, app.get at hello, route path, hello, localhost 1000/hello, and then call back, say hello. I'm going to do all that right now. Go into here. My challenge. Bear with me, because sometimes you guys can see everything on the left-hand side perfectly fine. I have the chat up at the top left-hand side. Even though it's transparent, seeing everybody's chat messages in there, and trying to see past them sometimes can kind of be a little pain. So here we have instructions. So this is kind of where the building starts to come in of what we get to go through with the boot camp. So it gives us instructions. Sometimes they're really good instructions. So this one here, relatively good. So your goal for this lesson is to get the test to pass. To do so, you'll need to create two routes. Both are very similar, but they pay close attention to the output. So we remember that we're going to do app.get. We're making a get request at the route of ping. Okay. Make sure to put a comma in there. And we're going to do a request and a response. So we're going to request a get for this route, and we're going to respond by sending song. We have one for welcome route, comma. We requested a response. We don't anything fancy, right? Into our callback to send welcome to my server. That there. Be done. If I run my tests here, shows that I passed ping welcome. Any other route should respawn with a standard 04. Now that happens in the background somewhere. We don't have access to all of it all the time. That shows where we're at. We understand building routes. So now we get to go into query and route parameters. And again, anybody can ask questions. Feel free to chat in the chat, talk. I will make sure to balance both out as much as I possibly can. So routing on its own is quite powerful. So far you've learned how to build routes that can respond with all kinds of... And by the way, as well, anybody on YouTube have to feel free to like. We do go live here on YouTube every single time that I go live on Twitch. We both at the same time. So feel free to support us on both ends if you want to. You know, you guys are about to start getting videos at least once a week that are shortened, condensed, and a little bit more bearable to watch. I did post one earlier as well. Feel free to watch it, share it. We are 18 and older. We don't judge if somebody comes in that isn't 18 yet. I've had plenty of kids that have joined the stream, and you know, they one of them literally isn't even 18 yet, and he's been around since like 13. And we never judge anybody by their age. It's just one of those type of things that if you aren't 18 yet, do not whatsoever have your parents yell at me because I cuss. I've never had that ever happen, but you know, just make sure that you understand that we cuss, we say bad words. You rated 18 talk. I can't be getting in trouble because you decided to watch. So bear that in mind if you ever watch the clips. That's what it's going to be mostly. Also, somehow I become rank #1 timer dig. But you know, other than that, we're not going to have like funny moments. So yeah. So, so far you've learned how to build the routes that can respond with all kinds of information. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use dynamic user input to modify your route's responses. Query string, the text that comes at the end of a URL that provides additional information to a route. Query parameter, a key value pair and a query string used resources requested server. A route parameter, a part of the URL that changes depending on displayed on the website, used to access parts of the URL by storing the value a variable. And if I also explain anything the wrong way, guys, please feel free to correct me. There's still a lot of terminology that I'm still trying to get down as well. My past 2 mock interviews, they said that I really need to work on my terminology, but my last mentor session that I'm actually getting a lot better with my terminology. But there's still some things that could use. So if I explain anything that's the wrong way, please feel free to be like, by the way, hey, you said this was that. It's actually this. Just so that way I can work on it for, you know, my own term. I want to make sure that when I do actual, that I'm explaining things. So take a look at the following URL. Just skipping the videos just for copyright related. I don't claim any. So everything that's in the video is going to literally be just a, so take a look at the following URL. So here's our URL and here is our query. So we got a query string which contains query parameters. So in the above URL, you can see that there is a route called search. But is the content after search a new route? No. What comes after is called a query string, which contains a single query parameter. Query string is a text that comes at the end of a URL following a question mark. It provides additional information to the given route and can contain multiple query parameters. A query parameter is a key value pair and a query string. Key and the value are strings separated by an equal sign. In the above example, the query parameter key is Q, and the value is JavaScript. Query strings provide additional information to your route can be easily read by Express if formatted properly. Inside of the route function, you can access query parameters by using request query. The object will be empty if there are no parameters. Otherwise, it will be an object of key value pairs. So here we have our get requests from app at the root for songs. So we got request and respond. In our callback function, we're going to const title be equal request query title, and then respond.send our title variable object. What would title be? why I need you guys. And imagine that you visited the following URL. ChatGPT. What is title? Title variable is considered the value of title core. Yeah, it is a variable that is considered the value of the title core. And imagine that you visited the following URL. So localhost 5000, our route for songs, our query for title equals distant. So you should be getting back distant, because you are specifically querying the distant title. Update your say hello functions so that it looks on say hello, request response, and callback function. First, it's going to console log the requested query. And then we're consting name. So we're consting a name variable to request query name. Going to be getting name. And then const content equals name. That name. Actually, no. First one, function. Hello, and then call back the name if it's in the then I think this is where I kind of start to get a little sluggish. Why I haven't taken my mock interview. Trying so. So, if you do hello question mark name Danny. Hello Danny. Take a look at the following two URLs here. Log. Science. These URLs are similar except for the last part of the route. If you were to build routes like this in your Express code, would you have two separate routes? The answer is that it depends. It is possible to use two different routes to return different information, but it is also possible to use one with route parameters. Route parameters give you access to parts of a URL by storing the value in a variable. This means that part of the route can be swapped out with another value and potentially work. For example, take a look at this following code here. Const say something equals request response. Callback for const greeting is requesting params for the greeting. Const content equals whatever that bond.send content. App.get say then greeting function. Back to the same. So instead of us doing app.get say greeting best response into a callback function declaring all information, we could just do it this way. We can const it and make it look a little bit up to there. So the route that you define contains two parts, one of which has a colon in front of this greeting. In your route function, you can access all route parameters with request params. Return object. If there are any, that will be stored inside as value pairs. Do this. Copy the code into your app.js. Place it anywhere below where your Express application. Try making it. Have say greetings. Moment get root parameter. Skip the parameter. Press to the following URL. What happens? I think so. Nothing there. It's not gonna work. Put it all together. Another video. Update your say something function to the following. We have different. So const content equals greeting name. So if reading a name. If not, else. I'm going to do multiple routes. You now have multiple routes running on your server. For now, assume you have word like this. App.get hello. Call back the say hello function. App.get say greeting. Call back the say function. If you make a request to say hola, does Express look at your hello root at all? The answer is yes. Express looks at each piece of middleware in order. If it doesn't have a root string, it runs the middleware as expected. But if it does have a root string, first look to see if the requested URL matches up with the root string. If it does, it will run the root function. Otherwise, it will over it. Order does matter. Every incoming request will go through every piece of middleware looking for a match to the root if there is one. This means that the order of your routes can matter. Take a look at the following example. App.get say greeting. Call back the say something function. Can't say goodbye. Request response. Our arrow function. On.send. Sorry to see you go. And then we can call that back here. App.get say goodbye. Back the say goodbye function. So if you make a request to say goodbye, will you be calling the say something function or the say goodbye function? Because the say greeting route matches the path. Say goodbye, you will call the say something first. That means if you went to the following URL, logos 5000 say and then goodbye, you would receive the following response goodbye. This is easy to avoid once you know how to look for it. All you need to do is switch the order of these routes. So switch the order that these routes are used. App.get say goodbye, calling back that say goodbye function. Here's our route declaration. So this goes first, and this goes after. Because it'll only say goodbye. Match that. So order it right. Copy the above say goodbye function route into your app.js file. Play with the ordering to see what happens when one of the routes is in the other. Your app.js is likely getting a bit messy. Likely have functions defined between routes, making it a bit less organized. Update your code to fit one of the following organizations. Instead of naming your functions, place the functions routes as autonomous functions. Here's an example. Press response, arrow into a callback function on.send. Move all of your functions to one part of your file and all of your routes below. Add comments above each section. Here we have another assessment. Lesson should take you between 10 to 20 minutes. Longer than that on this. Now, your goal for this assessment is to get the test to pass. To do so, you will need to code the inside the app.js file. Carefully look over the order of the routes and different route and query parameters are being solved this challenge. Okay. So first thing. What all are we? Start with that. We'll kind of just go. So say greetings should respond hello and request it. This is welcome to. So this here, this getting the. what we got. Got something. Welcome. Should respond. Welcome to. Welcome. Should respond to welcome to server Ted. Ted. Still failing. Say greetings. Hello. Can't say. Let's respond. This. Okay, that fixed our greeting. Because our query is not greeting. We're not going to put the question mark. Putting the question mark for the name is going to change. The greeting is not. Like here, name is going to change. Phrase is not. Phrase is not changing. What are we failing now? So say goodbye. Should respond with great to see you. So it expected we're sorry to see you go, but it ended up getting goodbye. Should respond with we're sorry to see you go. Ted request by name equals Ted. So that is going to have some our routing. Right. Okay. So we always got to make sure that we have these right order before we start storing more. I don't need to okay. On to the next one. Appreciate any that you all are having a good day. Keep them positive. We're already almost through our first section, and it's when we start to get to the projects, I'm really going to start struggling. So here we're discussing a not found handler. So you've likely come across a web page like this before, with 404. If a user tries to get a route that doesn't want to let them know, REST by default will respond with a message like the following if you try to get a non-existent route. Cannot get. You actually already have all the tools available to you to build a custom handler for this kind of issue. Recall the following. Express uses a middleware pipeline to determine how it should respond, and when a request comes in, it will look at every route that it can to search for a match. All right, so that was just another one of those moments where what I gotta deal with. Look at every route that it can. When a request comes in, it will look at every route that it can to search for them. If you provide a function as the first argument in app.use and express passes over it when looking for a matching route, that function will be run. To handle an error where the route cannot be found, create a new piece of middleware. This middleware should be put after all of your routes and doesn't need a specific. So, here's our not found handler. App.use, request responded next, our callback, send the route, and then here it's calling the requested path. It's requesting the path that was put in, so that way it can display it. Does not exist. So if I go to if I go to github.com/puppies and that doesn't exist, I make a get request to that and it doesn't exist, it's going to send the route and then it's going to show me github.com/puppies does not exist. Okay. All right, so do this. Add a missing route handler. Add that. What is the request.path evaluate? So error handler. One common error is that the user may attempt to go to a route that is missing. There are many more problems that arise. Express has a special and slightly odd way of creating an error handler. It is exactly the same as other middleware, except for one feature. It has an extra parameter. So notice we have that error parameter I talked about. So app.use, error, request, respond, and next. So into our callback, so we're going to console log our error. So whatever our error is associated, it's going to end up calling that error and respond.error. You'll notice that the only difference in the above middleware is that the first parameter is error. The names of the parameter do not matter. Instead, Express is looking for whether or not there are 4 parameters. If you try to access this function normally, you may have a hard time. The error handler middleware only gets called in one of 2 cases. When there is a problem in the application itself, for example, if you've taken your code, or when you specifically trigger it using the next function, a previous middleware function. No matter where you put this error handler, it will not be triggered one of the above conditions arises. Express does this so that you have a tool dedicated to issues that arise. So earlier you learned that using the next function that's available inside each piece of middleware will move the request to the next part of the middleware pipeline. Calling next with an argument will move the request to the next error handler. Take a look at the following route. Spend a few minutes making sure that you understand what the route is asking for. What will happen if it is not provided. So app.get, here's our route, states, abbreviation, request, respond, and next, our callbacks. Constant abbreviation equals request, params, and whatever our abbreviation. If abbreviation.length does not equal to, then next it's going to end up displaying state abbreviation is invalid. Else respond.send, call whatever abbreviation was put in. IN is a nice state I'd like to visit. That's it. It's done. The above state's abbreviation route is checking to make sure that the abbreviation that is given is no more than 2 characters. If it is exactly 2, then exactly 2. If it does not equal 2. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. My brain is kind of wonky. If it is exactly 2 characters, it will respond as normal. Otherwise, it will call the next function string. Whatever value gets passed into next is the value that will be available to you inside the error handler as the first argument. So here it wants us to cause some destruction. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the assessment and prove our knowledge. All right. So here we go. We got our instructions again. Your goal for the lesson is to get the test to pass. To do so, you'll be building 2 functions errors. Sorry about that. Error handling. Your goal for this lesson is to get the test to pass. To do so, you will be building 2 functions to handle errors. A catch-all middleware function is called whenever a non-existent route is app.u error request arrow or callback an error occurred not correctly. Go. Okay, so it's returning it if the conditions are all everything. So we need one that should return an error for short method. Do have here. Next. I swore there was. The thing is, we have it declared up in the root. Error handler middleware function that is called during an error. Called with error should be error is whatever is error handling. Have all of this typed up. Be able. Okay, so I was on the right path. Get more complicated. Bring it in. All right, so app.use, error, request, respond, and next. All right, it's our callback, and it's just respond.send. App.use error, let's respond and next, callback, and in error error, but callback, double quote, back there. Good. So it received your message. Error. Gotcha. Output. Only getting this. error occurred. I feel it. Eric. I do it. You know what? There we go. It's catching the error and it's got it. Only running that one. All right, router level middleware. On to the next one. Oh. Duplicate constraints. When a request travels to one of your routes, you will often want to verify that the request in some way, for example. Take a look at the following route. App.get, states, abbreviation, request, next, callback function, const abbreviation link. Not equal to. State abbreviation is does. And then they do kind of the same travel. So these routes are very similar. It's for example, check for not the route parameter is exactly to the character. Although the above code will work, you abstract away the duplicated code. So do this: include the routes, create a router level middleware. So this duplicate code problem can be solved by building router level middleware. Router level middleware involves using a middleware function for specific routes. The function looks like all other middleware functions. Take a look at the function below, which abstracts out the check for abbreviation length.
Enrio
For abbreviation length.
Hola,
Nero. That one. So it equals request, respond, and next into our callback function. So const abbreviation, request params. If abbreviation.length does not equal to, then next is date abbreviation valid. Else, next our next step, our middle. This function looks pretty similar to the code that you saw earlier. In fact, it is exactly like the above code, except instead of responding, you call next. On. So you can place the check for abbreviation length function, but responding app.get our route. Here's our function that our middleware function. Request respond next or callback respond on.send. callback our request parameter is a nice state. Callback function that to whatever the requested params are abbreviated. So as you can see, the code for the routes has been reduced thanks to the router level middleware. Now imagine that you're making a request to this following localhost 5000 travel OR Oregon. What do you think is gonna happen?
Mikey 7250. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb! It's a bomb! It's a bomb! Mikey, what do you think's gonna happen? I'm just kidding. I know he hasn't been. So what's gonna happen when we do travel Oregon? Or do that's get method for travel. Gonna check for abbreviation. Check that first. So does OR for Oregon absolutely equal to yes? So respond.send, enjoy your trip to Oregon. Get it? Got it? Good. So do this, include not doing all
Fear
of that.
Rider 3431. Lurk.
Fear Rider. So get specific. Update your check for abbreviation length functions, but instead of responding with a generic message, it responds with a abbreviation. For example, the response might state
Fear Rider
abbreviation
3431.
NYC. Is it valid?
What are you doing?
I am study. Easier for me to learn if I read it. Act like people are watching. My schoolwork. This is what I have to do. At me. Mom.
Mind if I join you? Even though you're muted?
Supposed to be.
Why are we supposed to be on chat?
Because it's much if I have somebody.
Okay, wait. What are you studying exactly? Like, what's going on?
Work.
You're going back to school?
No, this is the stuff I've been doing.
So you've been, so you're in college?
Well, it's a boot camp, but
Is it like a coding thing?
yes.
Alright, I'll leave you alone. Have fun. If you need help, let me know.
Okay. I'll be ready. Some people don't read what I post in general. Where were we at? Alright, the current example that you've been working with could be solved by creating application level middleware instead of router level middleware. Why not just include a line like the following in the code? app.use, check for abbreviation length. The above will work for the current example, but it will fail later if you were to add a route parameter. So do this. Arrows of application level middleware. See this in action. Try include the above line in your code above your example. Then try to go following URL. In your terminal, you will likely see that scared the shit out of me. I was adjusting in my seat. It terrified me. And it was loud. It went through my speakers. I love Mikey's response. Oh. Get back on track.
Rahul. Hi.
Hey, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to change scene so I could message my mom back. What? Responding to a bunch of people all at the same time. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. We're tracking back now. Welcome back, Rahul. All right. So parallels of application level middleware. Yeah, in your terminal, you'll likely see an error that says something. Type error cannot read property length. Find. What is this error referring to? What is undefined that the server is attempting to call length on? Hence, take a closer look at the abbreviation declaration. Check for abbreviation length. Make sure to remove the application level error that you added before.
Rahul. I gotta sleep, just came here to check you. Nice to meet you, man. So meet you soon next time.
Certainly, Rahul. Thank you so much for coming in and visiting today, and I hope to see you again soon, bud. Thank you so much. All right, and we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump on in our next assessment. Reset everything. Try my best here. Never look at the things I've already completed, because I've completed a lot of these things, but the issue is I completed them in such a quick fashion that I wasn't quite able to grasp it all yet and actually fully learn it. So that's why you'll notice when I go into these assessments, I have to hit reset everything every time. To try and allow my memory of us going over this kind of kick in, relying on answers already. Now I know on the earlier one I did end up having to backtrack, so that way I can see what the answer was, because I was really lost. But hopefully if we can get enough people in here paying attention and following along with me, hopefully then I can start asking questions.
I would like your stream 100 times if I can. Okay, so bye.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I appreciate it. Yeah, just keep on the support over there. At some point, we'll get to the places we want to be, right? But it was a pleasure meeting you, as always. And I hope to see you again soon, Rahul. Hope to see you again soon. So let's see here. So we got the instructions on the right-hand side, just in case some people are just popping in, wanting to know what's going on. So we're working on router middleware right now for Node and Express. So your goal for this lesson is to get the test to pass. To do so, you'll be placing it in the right place in the pipeline. So what we need to do is first we are going to not create it. Validate name length of the name. Then if the name is 3 characters or longer, move on to the next. So again, as per usual, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best to pass here. All right, so function is validate name length. Press respond next. So we need to first off const. We need to const somewhere to store the string. So we're gonna const I don't like the we're gonna try it. Name length equals equals name is 3 characters long. Quest, story, free, name. If name is 3 characters or else God, I just if sorry greater than should now we already have an export. Now we put it belongs. Let's see, do we have one for just right for him? I think that not read property. Wasn't on the right screen. Sorry about that. All right, sorry about that, guys. I just looked and I was like, oh, my advanced scene switcher. But that really didn't help things. That didn't really help things either. Okay, guys. So obviously, I still need to do some more work back on. All right. See where we went wrong. First off, request Rams. Okay. Request Rams. Good. On not send. Not. Still did some. It very much could be just how. Wouldn't ask. What are y'all shushing about? All right. Good call. Next, name length is too short if the name. So it expected name length was too short. It received call with 0 argument. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I just made it harder on myself. If name length dot length, which first off, I don't think that I think a dot there, so we weren't checking it at all. No, I didn't. If name length dot length greater than 3 or is less than 3. And send name length is else X. I feel like. Okay. Oh. Ah. Bond dot send. Not function. Why does that keep happening? What am I doing wrong? Oh, because it's just next. It's next. Next, display this. Else. Down the pipeline. All right. Goo. All right. So here's an assessment. Code and express assessment. So what this is going to do is it's going to put all of that together. Set everything. So your goal in this lesson is get this test to pass. To do so, you will be creating a simple server with 3 distinct. Your server should follow the structure you've learned in the course. Complete the following tasks to pass the test. So, in the app.js file, require express in application. One word. Might skip. Because this one allows me down. I don't know. That might be where we end ours for this time. I think making it module pretty decent. It was all of Node and Express, and you only have robust server structure, project, grub dash, Postgres create, Express backend development, or backend deployment. I think that's a pretty good stop point. So, yeah. I appreciate you all coming by. I will still be doing my stream at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. is our game time. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's for some of y'all, if you're maybe that's 3 hours away. So if you want to join us for some game fun, we play League of Legends mostly, but we're going to be branching again soon to play some other stuff. We have fun activities that help keep everyone engaged. So yeah, come swing by later on. Bye.